I call the meeting to order. I'd like to have an invocation from Jean Anderson.
May we pray? Heavenly Father, we're indeed thankful for the privilege we have to live in this country. Father, we thank you for our freedoms that we have to elect our leaders. And Father, we pray for our local leaders tonight as they conduct the city business, that you'll guide and direct them. And we just pray, Father, that we would all work together to accomplish what is good in your sight. For these things we pray and ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Lancaster,
Yes.
I would advise that we take an item out of order this evening, and that would be item 14, to conduct a public hearing, discuss, and act on an ordinance regarding the petition of Jerry and Linda Stevens for a change in zoning from single-family dwelling district number 2, SF2, to a multifamily dwelling district number 2, MF2, on City Block 262, lots 8A and 12, being located at 1240 Northeast 20th Street. There was a fairly lengthy public hearing at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting last week, and they approved it, but there has also been a protest filed, and in that case, when there is a protest filed, the city council would have to approve. In order to pass, it would have to approve by a supermajority, and that would require 6 votes of the 7 council meetings. Since that's not possible with only 4 council members here, I would advise that you bring that item forward and table it.
Right, that is 14.
That's 14.
I make a motion that we move 14 up right now.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Certain on
It will be,
December 12th,
I'm sorry,
Well,
sir.
I make a motion that we table the,
certain to, at December 12th, then we won't have to,
December,
December 12th.
You want the motion to table to be that it be tabled until December
December
12th?
the
Yes.
12th.
I make a motion that we table this until December the 12th.
Thank you very much.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so moved. All right, that particular item will not be heard tonight, but we will be heard December the 12th.
You speaking to the microphone?
I'm sorry, I'm very bad about microphones. That motion will not be held tonight. It's tabled until December the 12th, when we have adequate representation on the council. And so if that is the only thing you're waiting on, and I love to see this group here, seeing what your government is doing and letting us know when we're doing it right and when we're not doing it right. All right.
Citizens Forum.
I'm moving on. I do want to, we are not going to pass the 2-minute mark, though.
I'm
We're
sorry.
still going to have to.
We have to have the
Well,
citizens
it's
forum.
time for the citizen forum, and you want to go ahead and read
Right.
that?
I want to go ahead and read the citizen forum. Persons desiring the council must limit their presentations to no more than 2 minutes. Unless an item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the council from responding to any comments other than to refer the matter to a further agenda and to an existing policy, or to a staff person with specific factual information. Claims against the city council members or employees, as well as individual personnel. Appeals are not appropriate for the citizens forum. The citizens forum is open.
Mrs. Lancaster, since we have postponed or tabled item 14, it's probably best that we don't take any speakers on that issue,
that,
and they
but
can come to the
save
public
it.
hearing on that on the 12th of
On
December.
the 12th of December. Are there any questions on that? It's been opened.
My name is Don Pryor, and my wife and I recently purchased a little funeral home down the street here. And since that time, we've learned about a lot of regulations. We had to have the first certificate of occupancy on that building that's ever been issued, and it's been there since 1910. And through all of these regulations, I overlooked one. I failed to have the gas transferred in the apartment into my name. So I called this week, since it was getting cooler, to ask about that. And I was told that I would have to have a pressure test. And I asked if that was something I could do myself, since I've done before. And I was told, yes, as long as, I owned it. Well, the little girl came back, and my driver's license didn't match the address. So she told me I couldn't do the pressure test. I'd have to call a plumber to do that. Well, a plumber wants about $150, which may not seem like a lot unless you've been through all the regulations that I've had to go through recently. The gas company runs a pressure test before they connect the gas, and that's only reasonable. They want to know that there's not a leak there. And I think this is just another one of those regulations that, I hope that we get a lot of regulations changed the next year. And I can't quite understand this one, why I need to pay a plumber to come do something that I can either do myself. The city employee that comes out to inspect that test could do it. We're already paying that person, or the gas company's going to do it. So I'm just, asking the question of why this is necessary.
John, do you want to refer that to
Well, yeah, as you know, during public forum, we're not allowed to respond to questions because,
That's
so you're not on the agenda, but
fine.
we'll get back to you tomorrow, okay?
That's my question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else care to speak?
Hi. Yep. Oh, hello. Okay. My name is Monica. I'm with the Texas Department of Transportation's Traffic Safety Program. I'm fairly new, so I wanted to come by and introduce myself. If you're not familiar with the Traffic Safety Program, every year about 3,500 people die on Texas roadways. There's been a death on Texas roadways due to traffic fatalities for the last 16 years, as of last November. So basically what the Traffic Safety Program does is we evaluate the crashes, fatalities, and minor injuries, and then we implement programs like distracted driving, click it or ticket. We also do grants. So the Paris PD has decided to sign up for a grant in which we will increase DWI enforcement. So again, I just wanted to introduce myself. I have provided brochures that just go into a little bit more depth about what the program does. We also do car seat installations, and those that qualify can get a car seat. And I may be calling on the city council in the future for like media, press type stuff. And I just wanted to say hi, and my name is Monica. So do I need a? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a recognition of Texas Treasure Award. Doing business in Paris.
Yes, Sherry Bedford has a number of presentations to make.
Good evening, Council. I'm here tonight to recognize several businesses here in Paris. Back in the end of 2015, the Main Street program attempted and started a program to nominate some of our businesses in Paris for the 50-year Texas Treasure Business Award. And to qualify for that business award, you had to be 50 years or older, be a Texas business, and continue to operate as an independent for-profit business. And so we started looking around our downtown to nominate some of our downtown buildings, and quickly realized we had several in Paris that were not just in downtown, they may have started in downtown. So we're here to recognize 12 businesses tonight here at City Council. But first I want to introduce Brad Patterson from the Texas Historical Commission, the director of the Community Heritage Development Department. He's going to explain a bit about the Texas Treasure Business Award. Hey.
Thank you. Again, my name is Brad Patterson. I'm Director of Community Heritage Development at the Texas Historical Commission. And the program is actually relatively simple, so Sherry did a really good job at that. Basically, in 2005, the Texas legislature established this program to recognize for-profit businesses and the impact that they've had over a long time within the city, within their communities, and within Texas and the development of the state as a whole. And so to date, we have recognized about 350 businesses of a variety of types. Everything under the sun is kind of on the list. We have communities like Paris that nominate quite a few at the same time. Nominations can be done by the business itself or by somebody else in the community, such as the Main Street program, which is a very popular way for these to get into our program. Over the long term, it's an honorary program. There are no direct benefits, but over the long term, we actually hope that we can, the businesses will display the symbol and the logo of the business award, display that prominently, maybe even in their advertising, and as we get a critical mass, clients and customers will start to maybe seek out that and recognize that longevity in and of itself doesn't necessarily mean anything, but the reality is to be in business for that long, you probably had darn good customer service and all of the other things that are really important to have that longevity. So it's a pleasure to be here in Paris tonight to be able to recognize a dozen businesses who have been an important part of this community's development for well over a century in some cases.
Thank you, Brad. At this time, I'm going to call the name of each business and ask one of their representatives to come up to the front. And we'd like to get a photo with our city manager and our mayor pro tem. So the first business was Bob Swaim Hardware, family owned and operated in Texas since 1932. Can you stay up here with us? Stay here. Just stay right here. Okay? The next is Nathan Bell Realtors, family owned and operated in Texas since 1950. The next one is the Paris News in Texas since 1869.
Sherry, have them stand here.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get you guys to
Stand
just
up
kind of
here.
stand around here? That'd be great. Thank you. Next is the Collegiate Shop, family owned and operated in Texas since 1936. Okay, Harrison, Walker, and Harper, family owned and operated in Texas since 1887. Chapman Nauman Florist in Texas since 1920. Spanglers of Paris in Texas since 1943. Next, we have Henry Printing Company, family owned and operated since 1961. We have Costin and Son Ready Mix, family owned and operated in Texas since 1959. Williams Sporting Goods, family owned and operated in Texas since 1945. We have Hayter Engineering Incorporated, family owned and operated in Texas since 1957. And we have Norman and Landers Insurance in Texas since 1887. Okay, if we could get everybody up here at the front for a picture, if you can make it, or can you make it, Ms. Bell? We did have two other that applied, and they are very important businesses. Rogers Wade also applied, and Sonic. Both of them are 50-year-old businesses, but they didn't receive the Texas Treasure Business Award, but they are a Paris treasure to us. So we want to congratulate each one of you guys for your contribution to Paris, Texas, and the Texas economy. We will have a reception for the group following this at the Loft at 123. You want to pop by after the meeting?
Y'all gonna have to scooch in. Yeah. There's a bunch of them. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I knew there was a lot for that. I just didn't know how many were which. I think they were afraid to leave.
Here all of a sudden.
That's good.
No, he's going to do something. Okay. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Does anyone on the council wish to pull anything out?
I don't.
Do I hear a motion to accept as presented?
I make a motion, we accept the consent agenda.
And a second?
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So the consent agenda is passed. Number 12, nomination of Enterprise Zone. City Council is being asked to nominate Kimberly Clark Corporation Paris Plant as an enterprise project under the Texas Enterprise Zone Program. The enterprise project designation is for a 5-year period, in this case from December 1st, 2016 to December 1st, 2021, and makes the plant eligible for certain economic development incentives.
Whole other deal. Be right here.
Gotta be right there. What-
You move it, or I do it? No, you're good. We're all.
Yeah, just up there.
Council members and city team, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is James Allspaw, and I am the plant manager of the Kimberly Clark Paris plant. It is a pleasure to get to come before you tonight and to present to the council some potential investments that I think will be mutually beneficial to Kimberly Clark and obviously to our community.
We'll do it the old-fashioned way here.
All right. Tonight we have Ben Phillips, the Finance and Logistics Manager from Kimberly Clark. And also from our partner for this effort, we have Stacy Wages, the Senior Manager with Ernst & Young. I will be covering the potential investments, and Stacy will explain the Enterprise Zone project designation. I'll give you just a little bit of background on Kimberly Clark. We are headquartered in Irving, Texas, and we are an $18 billion company with 43,000 employees. We manufacture products in 36 countries around the world. Our goal is to provide consumer products around the world that are essential for a better life. Our products can be categorized into consumer tissue, KC Professional, and personal care. The Paris plant is part of the personal care sector. The Kimberly Clark Paris plant has been here for 33 years. We have 17 more years to go before we can get the award earlier. 3 decades ago, Kimberly Clark pledged to invest and grow the Paris plant. And here we are 33 years later, and we can see that Kimberly Clark has made good on that commitment thus far. And we want to talk about continuing that journey. If you look at the left side here, some key facts about the Paris plant. From 1989 to 1997, Kimberly Clark created 3 new markets, okay? 3 brand new markets that have since been globalized. They have been put around the globe. I can't get that word out, all right? So they've been put around the globe. Well, what's really unique about these 3 new markets is that the manufacturing for those markets was born right here at the Paris plant. Okay, those products were first innovated and produced here at the Paris plant. We've patented that, we've protected that, and we've rolled it out around the world since then. So Kimberly Clark will always be grateful to the Paris plant for that manufacturing innovation that occurred from 1989 to 1997. Another big point there on the left side to emphasize, in 2015, we replaced 3 of the original assets with brand new state-of-the-art Kimberly Clark global diaper machines. And some of you came out in August and got to tour those assets, okay? Those are really, really top of the line, best technology Kimberly Clark has that we've put into the Paris plant. Next one. And so tonight, we're here to talk about the potential for another $100 million plus investment over the next 5 years. We're working diligently to make Paris the easy answer for our senior leaders as they will look at these investments over the next 5 years. These investments will bring new capacity. These machines are faster, they run tighter tolerances, there's higher quality. These new machines will allow us to bring innovations to market. The diaper of tomorrow, the training pan of tomorrow will be made on these assets, and we want them to be in Paris. Also, these machines bring greater efficiency from a raw material standpoint and from an energy standpoint. This is all part of our plan, and I think this is the mutual benefit part. This is all part of our plan to retain 500 plus high-skilled jobs here at the Kimberly-Clark plant. And my last slide here, okay? So this is the first phase of a two-phase request, okay? And tonight we're here to talk about phase one, where we're requesting that the council nominate the KC Paris plant as an enterprise project to enable us to be able to apply for a state sales tax rebate, all right? Next year, following the tax abatement guidelines and working with the PEDC, we would like to apply for a new tax abatement that would start in 2018. The council's continued support will help the Paris plant win versus our internal KC competition in South Carolina and Utah. Now I would like to bring Stacy up, and she will continue explaining our request for tonight.
Hi, you can get the next slide. So the Texas Enterprise Zone program is a program sponsored by the state that allows local communities to partner with the state to provide an economic incentive to Texas companies. So once approved, a company is eligible to apply for state sales and use tax rebates on eligible investments. So because it is a state sales and use rebate, it is revenue neutral to the community that nominates the company. Communities do have to nominate the company, but then an application must be put into the state by the company, and the state actually awards the designation to the company. And every biennium, there's only a limited number of designations. So Paris has 6 designations to nominate companies for each biennium, and what we are requesting tonight would be the nomination for one of those designations. Oh, sorry. So this next slide shows the level of investment that Kimberly-Clark is looking to make over the next 5 years, which is in the $100 million plus range. So given that range of investment and retaining at least 500 of their high-skilled jobs, they would be eligible to receive $1.25 million state sales and use tax refunds over their 5-year designation period. And next slide. So the project for this Enterprise Zone Award may be located within a state-designated enterprise zone, or the project does not have to be, because Kimberly-Clark's qualified business site, which you can see up here is their Loop 286 Southwest and Farm to Market 137 site, is not in an enterprise zone, so they commit to having 35% of their new employees meet disadvantaged or enterprise zone residency requirements. So, and just to reiterate, as James noted, Casey is proposing a series of investments over the next 5 years that would total $100 million plus and the retention of at least 500 skilled employees at the plant.
Entertain any questions?
I had a question. On the first slide, how many people are currently employed at KC?
646.
So the retaining 500, what does that, explain that to me?
Is that the requirement?
Yeah, so 500 would just be the minimum, because if you, on that table that we showed, and I don't know if you're seeing it as
Okay.
well, 500 is the maximum for the level of investment threshold.
Okay, and you said the new hires on the enterprise zone would need to be, would there be any new hires, or I know we're getting ahead of the game here, but we anticipate there'll be some?
For positions that are maintained, if a new employee were to fill that position, then Kimberly-Clark is committing that 35% of those new employees would meet those designated requirements for economically disadvantaged or zone residency.
And this 100 million that you're investing, or might possibly, hopefully invest, well, what's the equipment specifically? Is it, I mean, can you describe it a little bit to me?
I mean, it's new assets, okay? At the same time, it's innovation that goes on existing assets. And so in our business, every once a year or up to twice a year, we have to bring and commercialize innovation. It's those type of innovations, as well as retooling assets as we go forward.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Okay. On this particular item, we're going to need to conduct a public hearing.
Okay.
So, I'd like to open that public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in regard to this?
Ms. Morris, I stay at 1017 Old Jefferson Road. Okay, you said it'd be what? Is y'all talking about just 35 employees for the 5-year term? How many new employees would get a job?
We said we
Retain?
500 employees is what we're committing to.
Okay,
To meet their application requirements.
right.
Currently, today, we have 646 employees.
Okay, so it'd be 646 plus the 500, right?
No, ma'am.
No. Mm-mm. Okay, that's why I was trying to see how many in the community would gain by this project. Because, yeah.
The project in and of itself is about retention.
Mm-hmm.
And the retention is keeping the company here, but at the same time, the company also has a rotation of attrition. So
Right.
let's assume for a moment the attrition's probably 5%. Okay, so of that 500 employees, you got 5% of those folks who are leaving and going somewhere else, or they're either retiring, or maybe they've taken another job somewhere else, and they have to hire somebody new. And when they hire somebody new, what they're committed to is making sure that that new person fits the category of the 35% of these employees fit the category to where they are low income or economically disadvantaged, so that they are increasing the prospect of an employee taking on a new role and have a new wage structure. So during that 5 years, they're going to have some attrition that takes place and hire new people replacing folks that are leaving as well.
Okay, okay. My thing is, after you meet the requirement, why is it that y'all have a committee board? Or do y'all, or I accuse y'all, do y'all have another committee board that holds a meeting to see who is really required?
Required for the job, or
Yes.
required for the
No, the job.
the job? The Human Resources Department at this facility, I assume, not only handles a person leaving the facility, but the Human Resources Department also takes care of the person that is applying for a job in the plant itself.
But y'all also have another committee that go before the board, right?
When you say board, I'm not sure I understand.
I'm talking about like peoples that work in there.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm talking about experience. Okay, after HR had hired me, I had to go through, it was 6 people on this board that works inside the plant they made the final decision.
And James,
And that's what I'm talking about.
James?
I end up going overseas because of that decision. You know, I think once HR do their business, why do y'all have some employees that could come back and knock you out of their job?
I'm not, I have to learn more about your experience, but we do have a employee panel.
Right, that's what I'm
Right.
talking about.
Okay.
I'm going to stop you there and ask that you do the addressing and questions that you're doing after the hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Chad Lindsay, 1050 Southeast 29th. I'd like to speak for, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but Kimberly-Clark has been a vital part of this community for a very, very long time. My family as well. I've got so many people in my family that work out there, including my parents, so I would like to speak for this.
Close the hearing. Close the hearing. If no one else wants to speak, I wish to close the meeting. The hearing, actually. Okay. Now I can entertain a motion to discuss
Any discussion on this?
or to approve. I think we're all ready to approve.
Go ahead, go ahead. Anybody else have any discussion on this?
Yeah, is there any discussion?
Let me,
Go ahead.
I want to make a motion to approve this request for KC.
Okay, so you're making a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's, the motion carries. Okay, we're on 13. Continue the public hearing, discuss and act on an ordinance regarding the petition of Evan Evans on behalf of Samuel Ebram for a change in zoning from commercial district to a commercial district C with a specific use permit, 45/auto fuel sales and City Block 170-C, Lot 15, being located at 2735 South Church Street.
Thank you. Good evening. As you recall, this item was tabled on October 10th. The reason being that the city staff wanted more time to allow the applicant to address city codes requirements and complete the required site plan. This project, since it requires a fuel station, also requires a specific use permit, which in turn requires a mandatory site plan. As a result of the additional time, the applicant has been able to submit a complete site plan. Several items still require additional time. On the site plan itself, they have stated that they will meet all requirements of the city regarding utility or physical development components as a result for their application for all permitting opportunities. They will meet those requirements. Staff recommends approval. This is a good use. While it's not a formal truck stop, it still will provide similar kinds of uses on the south side of the city. It's a restaurant, a convenience store, and a fuel stop. Staff recommends approval of this specific use permit in conjunction with the site plan and all the components associated with the site plan. As a footnote, the staff wishes to compliment Carla Easton, our city engineer, for the excellent job she did coordinating with the property owner, seller, and the applicant's design professionals to meet our city requirements in conjunction with their business plan.
Is there any discussion? Does anyone care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the change.
We need to continue the public hearing.
Oh, I slipped past the public hearing, sorry.
Requires a public hearing, yes.
Yep, it does.
Thank you.
And in this instance, we're just continuing the public hearing that you opened at the last meeting.
at
There
the
may
last
not
meeting.
be anyone who wishes to speak, but maybe there will be.
Someone who wishes to speak at this hearing?
Got somebody coming.
Hearing, oh, is somebody coming?
Good evening. My name is Sami Abraham. I'm a gasoline distributor, and we have done this project in over 26 cities. And I think we're gonna add a lot to the entrance of the city if the city cooperative with us in how to accommodate it and how to supply what we need in water and sewer. Any question? I'm open for
Do you
questions.
have any questions?
I don't.
Thank you very much.
Would anyone else wish to speak? I will close that hearing. Now, would anybody like to make or discussion? Make a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the change from commercial to commercial with a specific use permit, fuel
A
sales.
second?
Second.
The motion carries.
Vote.
Oh, we didn't vote. It looked like everybody did, so, but anyway, can I have a show of hands?
Aye.
All four. Discuss, number 15, discuss and act on contract change order number 2 to package number 4 of the 2013 Water and Sewer Capital Improvement Project with Oscarinda Contracting Incorporated, reflecting an increase of $136,000, and contract change order number 3, reflecting an increase of $252,000.
Mayor and council, we've got representatives here from AECom that I'll turn this over to. That these are some significant changes that we found in the field as time went by, and they'll explain that. The good news is that there are sufficient funds to complete the project, and these are funds that we would have spent if we had known of the situation to begin with. But I'll turn it over to Matt and Randy and let them explain the project. Again, these are AECom, which is our project engineers for the utility bond program.
Yes, good evening, and thanks for having us. So, as John said, we are the design engineers for the project, and Oscarinda is doing the construction. And so we're here to talk about the 2 change orders and to request that council approve the 2 change orders so that the project can proceed. So change, I guess to give kind of a background of the project. So right now, what's going on is the contract package 4 consists of about 42,000 linear feet of water line and 46,000 linear feet of sanitary sewer, and also includes 1.2 miles of Pine Bluff reconstruction. And so change order 2 is specifically in regard to the Pine Bluff, and that extends from North Main Street to 20th Street. And so what the contractor found during construction of the utility lines is that the pavement was thicker than what was anticipated, and so there has been excess labor and materials to the contractor, and they are seeking additional costs to remove the existing pavement for the entire length of the project of $136,000. And the removal of the pavement is to allow for proper subgrade preparation for the new roadway. So that's change order number 2. Change order number 3, this is in regard to what we call it Project D6. It's a large diameter sewer line that is on along the loop 286, and it's being installed by both open cut and bore methods. The original bid did not have sufficient quantities for the entire design, and so we've gone over the design and reviewed it, and we've made some changes to it, and so now we've met with TxDOT, and there are some bores that we need to add in, and so these additional bores are going to cost $252,000, and so both change orders are they add about 1.7% to the total contract cost. And as John said, we do have sufficient funds in the bid program, the bond program to compensate these changes. And so we are requesting that they be approved.
Is there any discussion? No discussion from the council? No motion?
I make a motion that we approve these change orders.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Number 16, discuss and act on an ordinance establishing school zone speed limits on certain portions of certain streets, highways, and public places. Repealing ordinance number 2009 and 10, establishing a school speed zone in 300-400 block of the Northeast 2nd Street, repealing all ordinances in conflict thereof, making other findings of fact and provision related to the subject by providing a severability clause, a saving clause, a penalty clause, and providing an effective date.
Good evening, Council. When school started this year, the start and dismissal times of the local schools changed somewhat because of some state mandates. After school started, the school officials got to noticing the times on the school zones needed to also be amended because of those changes. So we went back, working with the schools and TxDOT, and came up with the proposed times that are on the ordinance. And while doing so also, we noticed that the school on 2nd Northeast has since closed, and there's no need for the school zones on 2nd and 3rd this time.
And we noticed when we were working through this that our school zones were contained in several ordinances. So what we did is we consolidated everything into one ordinance so that if there's ever a change, we know which ordinance to go back to and can amend that one ordinance. So there may be school zones in this ordinance that didn't change, but we've done this one global ordinance to make it much easier for us in the future.
Anyone else wish to discuss? Anyone on the city council? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we accept the changes.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 17, discuss and act on a request to publish names of delinquent property taxpayers in the local newspaper.
This was an item that Mayor Hashmi asked to be added to the agenda at the last council meeting. I understand I guess the motivation is that, to encourage people to pay their taxes on time and pay their taxes. It's not a practice I've done in cities I've worked in before. My biggest concern is that, it can be expensive depending on if you're going to put every name, because we've got lots of delinquencies. If you go back, and I think there's some information that's included in your packet, there's in the thousands of properties, but I assume you're talking about more recent stuff. But even so, everybody who's late on their taxes or delinquent on their taxes are not deadbeats. Some of them are people that have hit on hard times or different things, and I worry about embarrassing those kinds of folks. So for what it's worth, that's just my opinion, and of course we'll do whatever you guys want to do.
I have some concern about this too, along the same lines that you have, but also I can remember that there was a Supreme Court decision along this, and I would like our attorney to make sure that we are always on the right side of the law.
I'd be glad to do that. I'm not aware of that, and I will have to look at that. I can't tell you now.
I can remember about 17 years ago.
I'll be happy to look at that.
Should we table it then?
Yes, so I think we ought to table this.
Are you thinking you're going to do it? If you're not going to do it, then we can do the research. But
myself personally, I'm like you, Mr. Godwin. People fall on hard times. They lose their jobs, they get ill, and it's not that they're not wanting to pay their taxes, they just really can't. Now, if it gets to the point of the city attorney having to step in and in a notice of a lawsuit or something like that, that might be something different. But I don't think just because somebody necessarily misses 1 year being late on their taxes and not paying them, it may be some circumstances there.
I
that
find
they
it
don't.
hard to lump everybody
But
together.
that's just sort of my.
Well,
tend
and
to
if
be-
they're, I'm sorry.
I'm a little opposed to this too. I think this information's available on websites right
It's
now.
available.
It's public, it's public
My
knowledge.
fear
I mean, it's
is
public
that
knowledge.
these things aren't exact.
Right.
And what happens when there's an error in one, or when someone's paid their taxes and it crisscrossed and then their name is published in the paper? I think it would open us up to some liability.
Me too.
And I'm
Embarrassment,
I don't know, we
if
need
nothing
to
else.
research this. I think not particularly in favor of this.
And I don't like it either.
Well, I would be concerned about publishing addresses of folks. I mean, that can open them up to some difficulties. And in the absence of that, I happen to be married to a Bill Harris, and there may be 10 of those folks
Right.
in town, and you don't know who that's relating
That's right. I agree.
It might be good to, since it's on there as an action item, to take a vote to, sounds like to deny, but.
Well, I make a motion, we deny it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I ask before we go on, it's probably pertaining to this, are these, we got these lots that are overgrown and not taken care of. Could we maybe even get their names out there that they need to clean these lots up or get them fined or something? Because there's so many lots in Paris that just look awful, and people coming through here and seeing all that.
Yeah,
I mean, can we do that? I don't know.
I don't know. I've never done that either, but that would, we'll find out.
Okay.
We pursue those, but we can't keep up with all of them with our crews. But in fact, Larry's going to talk about that in just a few minutes, but
Okay.
we're just part of the town. But
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, we'll find out.
Okay, thank you.
So, we've had our vote.
Yep.
Motion did not carry.
The motion not to do it did carry.
Yeah.
The motion
Yeah,
not to
we
do
did
it
not.
did
Where we
carry.
get in trouble with
Right.
with negatives.
Yeah.
Eighteen, receive update from city staff regarding code enforcement and cleanup of main entranceways into the city.
Council, several months ago, the mayor requested that code enforcement, focus on the entryways of the city. He felt that the initial perception of the people coming into Paris would be impacted by the conditions along these major thoroughfares. Since that time, we've made a concerted effort to prioritize these roads for code violations and cleanup. These efforts have included stepped-up enforcement of the city codes regarding junk and rubbish and high grass. We've also targeted the businesses that have in the past been an eyesore to the public. These businesses, including the tire shops, auto repair shops, scrap metal yards, et cetera. We've made some real progress with those who have cooperated in meeting the code violation abatement. For the others, that we've issued citations and filed cases in court to force them to comply. Currently, we have cases pending in the court on fence installation and replacement, trash and rubbish, non-compliance, and junk vehicles. This process takes a long time as it works its way through court. However, I think you will see the dramatic improvements been made on South Church, North Main, Bonham, Lamar, and Clarksville. You've got to understand that we have only 4 people to do the abatement. And even though the entryways are a priority, the abatement crew has an enormous backlog of cases throughout the city, including lots that need to be mowed and so forth. We attempt to prioritize these, but because of the volume, sometimes it's difficult to do so. At present, the abatement crew has been instructed to inspect all entryways each Monday morning to ensure that all issues are addressed. It will continue to be our priority, and it's with your support on these code enforcement issues and the code violations that we're making the progress on all fronts, including the dilapidated houses that we deal with, high grass, weeds, junk vehicles, and trash and debris. We've stepped up the use of citations to ensure that the property owners comply. Our hope is to minimize these violations by strict enforcement. So in a nutshell, we're doing just about every possible thing we can do with the crew we've got. And we have focused on the entryways, and I think we've made some significant progress on the major thoroughfares coming into town. But again, we do try to prioritize our cases, and they're just a large volume of vacant lots, junk, trash, weeds, so forth that we're having to deal with in the city of Paris. I'll answer any questions if y'all have any.
I have a question.
Okay.
This has to do with the area directly around the fountain.
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing a great deal of trash dug up in front of these buildings and left there. When I left this morning, there was, well, probably many years ago it was a trunk. Now it is a pile of trash. And there are other items just like that. In back of Grand Street, there are large stacks of trash metal. And if that's part of our thoroughfare straight into town, they drive right by that mess. You think there's anything we can do to address them speedily?
To answer that specific question about the place on Grand Street, we have filed a case on that.
Okay, so there's that one, and then you have one that's right on Main. It's on the south side.
On the south side of Maine?
Mhm.
I'm not familiar with it, but I'll look into it. But we will.
I think you'll know it when you see it.
Okay. But again, we're trying to hit these entryway roads. That includes Grand, that
Well,
includes
that on
Bonham.
Grand is considerably better.
Yeah, it has improved. It still needs improvement, but we've done quite a bit in the last couple of months with that. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Appreciate the hard work.
Appreciate the hard work
We're
you do.
working as fast as we can, so I'm sure you get complaints, and most of them we've addressed either by abatement or by filing of a court case already, but feel free to let us know if you see something you need to have addressed, and we can find out about it.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, we appreciate you. All right. 19, convene into executive session pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney to receive legal advice from the city attorney about pending or contemplating litigation and or matters in which the duty of an attorney to his client under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflict with this chapter as follows. First National Bank Building, 104 Bonham Street. We will go into executive session now.
The time.
And it is...
We passed the consent agenda. Yeah, we did.
6:31.
Observing the council tonight. One of them is my student. The other one is in,
One of those embarrassed?
yes. And one of them is in a co-teacher's class. And they are working on a project. And one of their projects, they had several to choose from, was to come and observe a city council meeting and write a report about it. And so I'm just very thrilled that two of our young, hopefully, who knows someday, council members or whomever are sitting out there today, and I just wanted them to be recognized.
Glad to have y'all.
Glad to have you.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, well, everybody's favorite, 21. Well,
I make a motion.
Second.
I didn't even get it
I
out of
think
my
we're here.
mouth.
I think it's the powers
Wait a
been
minute.
cut.
So be it.
Okay.